sound of doom in a courtroom, crowded every face in gloom. Truth on trial under high spotlight, shadows dancing in the dead of night. Fingers pointing secrets to bear, lies entwined in the heavy air. The jury's watching, hearts break in two. Whispers tremble, but the facts won't do. Judge and jury, kings of fate, deciding lives on a silver plate. The verdict's echoing so loud, innocence buried lost in the crowd. Faint confession behind a cracked door, a stained glove tossed upon the floor. Law books close, though they never heal. Justice bends, but the scars stay real. Clock keeps ticking, truth on the line. Each tick weighs heavy, a paradigm. Chaos brews behind composure's mask. Answers buried in impossible tasks. Judge and jury, kings of fate, deciding lives on a silver plate. The verdict's echoing so loud, innocence buried lost in the crowd.
Hey everyone, how are you? So, welcome everyone in. Um, Please be sure to hit that like button on your way in. Let's sit down and let's talk about it. Uh, Sanvi, hi, how are you? Nia Cotton Man, hey, how are you, Nia? So, Sean Diddy Combs and his legal team have been they have pleaded to the courts and request that he be um, given bond because of the nature of the case, because they feel that the jury has rejected the government's allegations of sex trafficking as well as the RICO. And the Honorable Judge Arun Subramanian has denied their request. I repeat, he has denied the request for bond. So I'm certain that Diddy's team of attorneys will be submitting appeals. Probably, if they haven't already submitted their appeals, they're in the process of doing so. But I want to read to you guys a few letters that were submitted on behalf of Cassandra Ventura, aka Cassie, as well as a letter docu-signed by Deontay Nash. It states, the Honorable Arun to the Honorable Arun Subramanian, United States District Judge, Southern District of New York, regarding the United States versus Sean Combs. And this is from Cassie's attorney. Dear Judge Submarinian, we write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura. Ms. Ventura respectfully requests that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions under United States 18-21-24. Now, before we move forward, okay? Before we move forward, I want to go ahead and look that code up and give you guys a little bit of the legal lesson as to what that code means. That code is the federal statute under the Mann Act, which criminalizes the transportation of individuals for illegal sexual activity. This law makes it a federal crime to knowingly transport any individual in interstate or foreign commerce with the intent that the person engage in prostitution or any criminal sexual activity. So, based on the fact, her attorney stating that based on the fact that he has been convicted under that United States Code, he should be denied. Her attorney goes on to cite the, let's see here, pursuant to the Bail Reform Act, 18 United States Code 1343A2, detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges. And Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as in the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Douglas H. Wigdor. And that's from Cassie's attorney. The next letter that was submitted to the judge pending his decision to deny Diddy's bond, the $1 million that his team came up with to spring him from the MDC. It says, this is dated July 2nd, 2025. This is from Deontay Nash. If you guys remember him, he testified as well under subpoena. He's the stylist. He was the stylist for Cassie, and he recounted a situation where he had to jump on Diddy's back to try to get him off of Cassie, and ultimately he was thrown off to the side and kind of banged up himself for getting involved. It says, Dear Judge Submarinian, I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs' custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout this what is it? Oh, these proceedings. I am compelled to be, what? I think my copy and paste thing messed up this letter. Let me go to the actual letter and just read it from it. Okay. While I appreciate your fairness, the fairness you have shown throughout I'm compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he poses to the public and the risk, and I have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and hold on, my letter is messed up. Violent, bear with me, y'all. Dangerous, blah 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 blah. My letter has places where it's cut off. Risk everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violence, coercive, and retaliation. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, which only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that this will be another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people to as to people who has exposed him. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. Without hesitation, that he is a serious and immediate threat to the victims, as well as within the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged, I'm pausing, guys, because I keep on going off of the page. Hold on. Where is it? First-hand knowledge. Individuals for... Oh, his patterns of violence, particularly while engaged in the acts involving individual for prostitution, combined with the unchecked substance abuse, he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence would undermine the process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It will also endanger those who cooperated under subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of the victims, any consideration of leniency versus any consideration of leniency. Mr. Combs has had countless opportunities yet he has chosen instead to escalate his harmful conduct, allowing him back into society would be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time. and for your commitment to protecting the public from repeatedly demonstrate they are from people who repeatedly demonstrate they are unwilling to respect the law. Respectfully, Deontay Nash. And my letter is all cut up. I actually like pulled that down and it's like, come on now. But yes. So for those of you who are just coming in, Sean Diddy Combs was not granted bail. I know a lot of the Diddy boppers out there are slinging rocks and screaming and kicking and punching the walls and punching the air. But I want everybody to understand that while the government failed in the RICO allegations as well as the SMEX trafficking, I want you all to understand that Diddy did indeed violate and was indeed convicted of violating the Mann Act. Transportation cross state lines for the purposes of prostitution. Now, at 4:59 p.m. in the courtroom, Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele, and Jason Driscoll are patting each other on the back. Agnafilo is in the holding cell with Combs. His family is in the second row of the gallery. 5:04 p.m. Combs' lawyer, Agnafilo, Alexandria Shapiro, and Tini Garagos emerge from the holding cell, still waiting for Sean Combs to be brought into the courtroom by United States Marshals. 5:09 p.m., Sean Combs has been brought in, sits next to Tini Garagos, reading. Agnafilo walks over to the lectern, then back over to his seat. Prosecutors are in place at the front table, waiting on Judge Submarinian. The judge comes in and he announces. He sits down, of course. I've read the parties' submissions. This happened 18 minutes ago, guys. I've read the parties' submissions and others. The jury convicted the defendant of counts 3 and 5. For the following reasons, bail is denied. Even if the defendant was solely required to show that he is not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Prior to trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. The defense conceded the defendant's violence. His violence is depicted in the video of Cassie Ventura. The defense admitted this is a terrible moment. DV is the issue, is what she said. It wasn't only that. There was the London hotel incident. There was violence after the searches in this case. As to Jane, there was June 2024, after the searches of Combs's residences. This evidences a disregard for the law and a propensity for violence. The court takes no position on what it will consider at sentencing, nor what sentence it will impose. But here, the burden is on him, and he cannot carry it. The defendant argues the guidelines sets at starts at 21 months. The guideline starts at 21 months, and the United States government says 51 months. He's done 10 months. I set sentencing for Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. I am willing to expedite it. Combs's Agnafilo. We would like it expedited. Judge. Will we need an expedited pre-sentencing report from probation? But I will be available anytime. There is a great divide on the sentencing guideline. I see that Ms. Comey has her statute book open. And you say, Comey, the rule required the preparation of a report absent a response waiver. Probation may be able to expedite. Judge, update me by July 8th at noon. And we'll hold a hearing on the afternoon of July 8th. Combs's Agnafilo. Your Honor, Your Honor has a lot of information from presiding over the trial. We want the sentencing as soon as possible. Over Mann Act cases, other Mann Act cases, there's nothing remotely similar to this. The cases where we've reviewed involving defendants making money, millions, or involve the littles. That's different here. That's different. Here are the facts. From our letter, see the United States versus Dillon. It's a case. There's a case that he's citing, but I don't get the point of him citing that case. So they're still kind of going back and forth and arguing. The last update was 3 minutes ago. But did y'all really think that Diddy was going to get bail? Because I thought his chances were kind of slim to none, especially after I saw, hey, Ryder, how are you? Especially after I saw the letters from Deontay Nash, as well as the letter from Cassie's attorney, Mr. Waldorf. Did you guys really think he was going to get a bond? Let me know in the comments, because I didn't have great hope for him getting a bond, simply because of, hold on a second. Yes. Simply because of the nature of the crime, and also because of the violence that was shared and shown in open court. So I'm not totally surprised. I mean, at one point I said, well, maybe they will give him bond. I was talking to someone and they were like, yeah, the government, they'll take the money, but I don't think, he's offered up millions before and they denied it. So let's continue. We just got another update 55 seconds ago. The judge. You condone violence on your closing. Whether that's relevant to sentencing is not for today, but it can be considered on a bail application. Combs's wait, I'm sorry, you conceded. You concede. He didn't say condone. Concede. You concede violence in your closing. Whether that's relevant to sentencing is not for today, but it can be considered on a bail application. Combs's Agnifilo. In June 2024, there's an argument that Mr. Combs was defending himself. So Agnifilo is not giving up. Agnifilo is not giving up. He's like, we are going to go back and forth and forth and back. We're going to argue. I'm not going to let up. I'm going to continue to rebuff whatever your honor has to say. It's not going to happen. I'm going to have an answer for everything. But the judge started off his statements with the fact that he is indeed denying bail. I mean, not for nothing, Diddy's attorney needs to get a clue. Like, it's just not going to happen. The judge has spoken. He's made his ruling. So all of the conversation back and forth, I don't think that's going to change his mind. But I will say, what I will say is good on him for not going down without a fight. Good on him for continuing to make every attempt to get his client released on bail. You know, honestly, if I was in a jam, I would want someone like Mark Agnifilo standing at the podium arguing on my behalf. The judge continues. We just got another update 57 seconds ago. Mr. Combs tried to get into a batterers program in New York. The jury never heard that. Then he got arrested. All these months later, here we are. The same drive to meet the head on, like the self-respecting businessman he is. Is that the judge saying that, or is that Agnifilo? Maybe that's Agnifilo, but they have it as saying that the judge said it. I don't know why the judge would say that or even know that. I think that's Agnifilo. I think that's a typo, y'all. Because I doubt that the judge actually spoke those words. That sounds like something his attorney would say. Right? What do y'all think? Isn't that something that more like something his attorney would say? Okay, guys, this is a participation sport. We talk to each other around these parts. Replay gang, you can go ahead and congregate in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on the denial of bail and the fact that Diddy will be sitting in MDC until his sentencing date. Now, currently, the judge has scheduled it for October. However, his attorneys are requesting that his sentencing be expedited. So, we'll see what happens. Hey, something foreign. Good to see you. Wait a minute. I can't even see what you're saying. Let me get my other phone, something foreign. Give me a second. Let me see. I know Beyonce's internet has been buzzing all day long. I even got up and went live early because the verdict came so early. But I told you guys, what did I say yesterday? Didn't I tell y'all that we were going to have a verdict today? I knew we were going to have a verdict today. I knew that the jury was not going to drag it out to Thursday or Friday. I just knew it. I knew it. Yeah, that's Agna Philo talking. That's not the judge. I think Inner City Press just has a typo there, which is, that happens. That can happen. It's not the end of the world. And at least I was able to figure it out that it wasn't the judge stating that. Something foreign says, no, it's all good. You right on time. There is video of him being violent, although he's a first time offender. I really thought he was guilty on everything but the RICO. Well, I think so did I, but you know what? I believe that his defense did a good job of painting those women as willing participants, kind of creating that narrative, because I think we still live in a society where there's not a heavy belief or focus on mental health. There's not a heavy belief and or focus on Stockholm syndrome, on how DV changes a male or female's perspective on their self-worth, on their life in general. So I get it. I get why the jury made the decision they made. It's because, quite honestly, a lot of us are uneducated about these things. And it's still very popular where if something happens, whether you're male or female, for you to like hold that person's shame. Like, for instance, if you're the victim of a DV or rape or an assault, it's more common for people, even your family members, to say, "Oh, don't talk about it. Don't say anything about that. Don't speak on that. That's no. Why are you saying that out loud?" Or, you know, or even acting like you're crazy for speaking your truth. So we still live in that type of society, but I feel that while it's it's not a full across the board victory on the verdict, it's not a guilty on everything. I still think that being that he is so rich and he is so accustomed to good food, private chef, multiple homes, all of that, while they won't be able to while they won't be able to do anything to him financially, because of course, because he wasn't found guilty of the RICO, the federal government cannot take his financials. They can't take his money or seize his homes or any assets that he has and associate it with a criminal enterprise. So at least he will have to sit in a federal facility for the time being up until he's sentenced. And also, depending on what he's sentenced, what type of sentence he gets, he'll have to sit there. He won't be able to enjoy the parties. He won't be able to enjoy the money, his private jet, Star Island, none of it. He will have to sit and accept the results of his own actions. Now, let's see. Here we are. We have an update. Combs' Agna Philo. He's been a model prisoner. There have been no issues. He's going to have next next chapter. He's going to have next chapters of his life. When you're charged with racketeering, you have you have dark thoughts. When I was reading the Mia message for this birthday, I had a a hard time doing it. Combs's agnophilia continues. His children are here. His two daughters. There is the middle. They're in the middle of the second row. They no longer have a living mother. Here, the user of prostitution services has been convicted under the Mann Act. He was acquitted of violence for sex trafficking. Look, Agnifilo is like, can't stop, won't stop. I'm going to continue to argue. Oh my goodness, y'all. He is not stopping. Let's see. Okay. Agnifilo. He wants to talk to you. Let me check. Judge. Okay, check. Ms. Comey. AUSA Comey. His bizarreness is almost unmatched. To suggest it was self-defense is insulting. He slapped her in the shoulder. He had rugs in his NYC hotel room. He invited Jane Agnifilo. We could craft conditions. Would the court be open to us putting together a bail package? I would be happy to do so. Judge, the bail application is denied. We'll receive, hopefully, a joint proposal on an expedited sentencing on Tuesday at a hearing at 2 p.m. Judge Arun Subramanian is not playing with them. He's not playing. I think Mark just needs to go ahead, quit while he's ahead. I think he just needs to quit while he's ahead. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think he should just quit while he's ahead? Oh, court is adjourned 1 minute ago. So the judge stood his ground. No bail. He will stay in prison. He will stay in custody until his sentencing. Now, what could his sentencing look like? Do you guys think that the judge will show him leniency because of the children that Mark, I'm sure they're going to utilize his children in their arguments. I'm sure they're going to utilize, him being a model prisoner in their arguments for his sentencing. Of course, also his clean record. He has no prior convictions, but the government has already stated, and they've been upfront, they are going for the 20 year. And they want 20 years. That means what they're going to ask the judge to do, right? It doesn't sound like it to me. There's something foreign. What they're going to ask the judge to do is they're going to ask the judge to sentence Diddy, because the Mann Act, the counts that he got convicted on, You got two counts, count 3 and 5, right? Each count carries a maximum of 10 years. Now, the judge has the option to sentence Diddy and have him serve that concurrently, meaning that the 10 years will run right next to the other. So he'll be doing all of the time together. But what the government is asking is that the judge sentence him to consecutive 10-year sentences, meaning he'll do his time for one count and then he'll do his time for the other count. So we shall see, folks. Hopefully the hearing that they have on the 8th, which, oh my gosh, that's my mother's birthday, right? Oh my God, that's my mother's birthday. What in the world? Let me see. It sure is. Y'all, that's my mom's birthday. That is crazy. Let me make sure with her. Let me make sure I'm not going crazy. Her birthday is July 8th. I'm calling her, y'all. Hold up. Give me a second. Ma, isn't your birthday July 8th? They are having Diddy's hearing on July 8th. Okay. Uh-huh. They are having, that is my mother's, I wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping. They are having his sentencing on my mom's birthday. How, that's so crazy. Well, I will keep you guys posted. I will let you guys know. And quite honestly, I'll probably go live again earlier. The hearing is supposed to start at 2 p.m. So you guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing today so that you're notified when I go live or add new content. Because what I'll probably do is I'll start up at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and give you guys the updates as they happen in court. Because I definitely want to hear about what's next for Sean P. Diddy Combs as it happens. Thank you guys for being here. Something Foreign, thank you for congregating in the comments. Ryder, I see you. Who else is in here? Sanvi, I see you. Nina Cotman. I think it's Cotman. My apologies if I mispronounced that. I see you, dear. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been anywhere on these YouTube streets, but instead you chose to spend this time with me, and I greatly appreciate it. Guys, I will catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. There will be more coming from this case. So the hearing on the 8th, I think they're going to try to work out how they can expedite his sentencing and probably set a sooner date than the October date that Judge Arun Subramanian selected. But stay tuned, guys. I'll catch you next time.
Gavel strikes, it's the sound of doom in a courtroom, crowded every face in gloom. Truth on trial.